This question is a great example of what I call the get back to basics strategy. Yeah, there's complications, it seems like there's a lot of information, but we know ultimately that this question is really about averages, right? And we know, hopefully, the formula for average, which is that the average is equal to the sum of the numbers over the number of numbers. Now we can very robotically and kind of stupidly just start plugging things into this formula. That first sentence gives us two of the numbers for the formula. It gives us the number of numbers, the 6 laps, and it gives us the average lap time of 42.3. So without thinking too hard about it, I would just plug that in and see what I can get, right? So 42.3 is equal to the sum, whatever that means, over 6. Well, look, whenever I have an unknown in a question, it usually is a good idea to solve for it. So let's do it. We would do that by multiplying by 6 on both sides. So 42.3 times 6, that is a sum of 253.8. Whatever that means. I don't even care at this point. I'm going to go to the next idea and see if that can help me. So it says after 2 more laps, the swimmer's average lap time increased to 42.75 seconds. So, okay, cool. Well, if we have 2 more laps, we can still use this formula. But now, let's kind of split it up. 42.75 is my average. I still don't know the sum of this, but I do know now that I have a total of 8 laps, right? So the 6 that I had before plus the other 2. And again, I can solve for a sum. And that's going to be 8 times 42.75, which is 342. Now what? Well, we're trying to find the average lap time in seconds of these additional laps. So again, that's probably going to involve an average. Sum over total, well, we know the total is 2. We're trying to find the average, so it must mean that I have the sum of these 2 laps. And we have other sums from before. And if we think about it just a little bit, hopefully we can recognize that we're going to need to subtract these two numbers, 342 minus 253.8. Basically what's happening is we're saying, okay, the 6 laps got me this much, another 2 laps got me this, or another 2 laps added in more seconds. What's the difference? What did those 2 laps add in terms of a total number of seconds? So even if you don't fully understand that, I think it's a kind of like a good move. It's something that you'd be like, well, it seems like the right thing to do is find the difference because I'm trying to find the difference between these 2 laps and the total 8 that I had. So that is a total of 88.2, and then 88.2 divided by 2 is 44.1. It's a lot of numbers moving around, but it's only one formula. We used it 3 times, but it's only one formula, and that's sometimes how these get back to basics questions work, is we understand the basic formula. The SAT has just added lots of complications, but use the formula as a guide. Write it on your page, start plugging in what you know. I think you'll be surprised sometimes how often you can just kind of stumble your way to the answer by just doing the most obvious thing in each situation. I definitely did that here, and we got the right answer.